Good afternoon. It's 69 degrees in central Pennsylvania, so obviously we're out riding today. Weapon of choice today is the 1983 Honda Sabre. It's the one I tried to ride the other day, but the battery was so dead I didn't trust jumping on it and taking off. So put a new battery in it, I think. Put a Pirate battery in it like I've been telling you. These Pirate batteries, they're pretty strong. It's sat, I don't know, week and a half since I worked on it, and started right up. Fired right up. Way to go. So, reintroduction to the 83 Honda Sabre. This is a VF750S. So, with the Magnas, you have the same engine, but they're more of a cruiser. This is more of an upright standard. And she's a peppy bike. Around 80 horsepower. It's hard to verify with such an old bike, and I can't tell you this bike has that for sure. But has a 5-speed with overdrive, shaft drive, front. It has dual brakes on the front, 2 pistons on each side, hydraulic actuated clutch. You do have a clutch master cylinder here, and obviously hydraulic front brakes. Rear brake on this one is a, I want to say it's a drum. It's a drum on the Magna. Pretty sure it's a drum on the Sabre also, because when you step up to the 1100, that's when you get the rear disc brake. This thing did, you can see the gauges here, kind of trying to be futuristic in 1983, and I guess they did. I think this actually has auto turn off for the turn signals. That wasn't a tight enough turn to check it, but I'm actually running in 5th gear. You have your gas gauge, your temperature gauge. Oh, there's a bug in my ear and I can't get to him. Oh, that itches. And right here, if you can't see, you have your readout, which actually, I think that if the warning comes on, I think that would actually tell you what's going on. Oil, that's where your computer checks happen when you first start it. There's your turn signals, your high beam, your warning, and your neutral at the top. And the speedo does go to 150. I can't tell you how fast I've had it because I don't remember in the past. And what else can I tell you? You have a clock. It needs reset because I changed the battery. Trip meter you can do. Lap reset here, your trip reset here, and yeah, it's just kind of a loaded bike. I don't know, here it says check. I don't know if I push check what it will do. I don't think it did anything. Oh, red light, red warning, it's going through. See, checking tail light, headlight, battery. I don't know how it checks battery, but apparently our battery passes. It's not like the Yamaha 750 that has a probe in the battery. It must have some sort of sensor in the battery line that tells you your battery is good. But I just hit that check button, light lit up, and found out that everything passes its check, so that's good. Oh, I wish this bug was not in my ear. Oh, I'm sorry guys. I'm just gonna have to let it be. She is quick and fun to ride. When I first got this bike, I think it was the RPM gauge, the tachometer, wouldn't go past 5. Wouldn't go past 5.5, and it eventually it did. Like, I wonder if the previous owner never rode this thing past 5.5, which you can do all day. Oh, there's the bug. The bug is now in my visor. Let's get rid of that bug. Hopefully he flies away. Nope, still here. Come on, Buggy. I got him out. Yay! Woo! Amazing. Oh, the treacherous of being a motorcycle. So yeah, when I got this bike, the tachometer, I'm thinking, was just never run past 5.5, which, like I said, you can do under 5 all freaking day on this bike and never have an issue. But you never feel the power that this bike actually has. It's so much fun, very peppy, very revvy, and like I said, it's got about 80 horsepower. So you can have a blast on this thing and not get tired of it. It's light, it's a little bit tall for shorter riders. I'm 5'5½-ish. So it does, I mean, I can touch the floor, but I'm not flat-footed. But just so you know, if you're a shorter rider than me, it may not be up your alley. You can ride with a shorter seat on it, and that just works for some people. Or reupholster your seat and take out some of the, shave off some of the height. I guess that's about all I can do to update you on this. Right now I have under 30,000 miles. Counters down here at 20, or is that 25? Can't tell if it's 25 or 29. So anyway, I'm under 30,000 miles, like I said. But this is just a super fun bike. These zip ties are custom. Can you see that? Yep. They're not factory. Previous owner, I guess the casing was cracked, and I don't know. I never took them off and I never messed with them, so there's a good chance that they glued it, or I could glue it and it would be fine. But I don't know. Just let them be. It doesn't bother me. This cooling fan, this is liquid cooled, and the cooling fan has been bypassed, so you just hit this switch when you want to turn it on and it turns on. But I don't find this bike overheats very often. I don't do a lot of stop and go traffic, and I keep it moving, so it's pretty good. But it's a joy to get out. I needed to ride. Super fun to get out and move around on a bike. That's kind of the story on this 83 Sabre. It is black, and the previous owner named it Black Beauty. And I've been sticking with that. If you want to see, it has decent suspension. It's not as bad as my 1100, but still it doesn't soak up the bumps like your typical cruisers and stuff. And it is kind of an upright riding position. I do sit a little bit forward. Everything on here is stock. The bars and the risers are all stock. You can see they're clip-ons. They're not a full bar with a clamp. They are clip-ons to the top of the forks, and it handles pretty good. It's not an obnoxiously loud bike. I do have stock everything on it. At one point, I was riding it home, and all of a sudden it got super loud, and I checked it, and the headers had rusted through, so I had to replace all of the exhaust. I don't know, I might have just replaced the headers. I don't remember if I put on new mufflers. So now it's back to stock sound, and it's not terrible. It's another thing, it just has a low good sounds. And when I start it up, before it heats itself up, I do have some valve tap, I believe. So I'm sure valve adjustment would be warranted on this bike. It's not as quiet as my Magna, my 82 Magna. So that might be a job we do at some point. Doesn't seem to hurt it, and I don't ride this thing on the edge. I just enjoy it the way it is. But the valve tap does go away once it's warmed up. I still hear it a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad. But you don't want to let this thing idle for super long. I mean, I don't know if you can hear that. Sounds a little tappy. So it might be a video we make in the future. Or I might sell this bike since I keep accumulating other ones. But really, that's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed my babbling. And I'll see you guys on the next one. We gotta ride that Maxim yet, the 750. The 1100 we've had out a few times, so I'm sure you're not yearning to see that. But let me know if you want to see more rides on the 1100 Sabre. What else do we have ready to go? I gotta rebuild the front brakes. I still have the front brakes on the 83 Shadow 750. It's funny, so now we have this 83 Sabre 750 ready to go. You got to compare that to the 83 Shadow, so that's a V-twin, and this is a V4. I didn't even talk about the engine on this thing. It's a V4 750, so you really can't compare it. But we have the Shadow 750, we have the Sabre 750 V4. The Shadow is a V-twin, 2 cylinders, and then we have the Maxim 750 inline 4. So it might be a fun comparison to run all three and see what we think. That would be ideally, that would be a lot of fun. Do a compro on the inline 4, the V4, and the V2. I know the V2 is probably going to get buried. If this has 82 horsepower, I can't remember. I think that's pretty comparable to the inline 4. And then I think the V2, the Shadow, has maybe 60. But that would be fun to hop on all three and see what you think. So anyway, I got a full tank of gas. I'm going to keep flying here. Maybe you'll see more, maybe not. But I babbled on a lot about this bike. So maybe we'll separate the videos and do another one with just riding the twisties, riding the back roads, and come along for the ride. Go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Get out and ride. I said that already. Bye.